Okay, so we all know we're living in the income inequality days that haven't been seen since the Gilded Age. Okay, so let's remember what the Gilded Age was. Gilded Age means that everything on the surface looked right and fine, but underneath, everything was fucked up. Okay, so that's the Gilded Age, right? So right now we're living through that again, right? Crony capitalism, people have rigged the system, the upper 1% getting all the gains. In fact, in the recovery, the upper 1% have gotten all the gains.
It's turning out to be more like the upper 1/2 of 1%.
Yes.
Yeah.
So they've really rigged the system in their way, and a lot of people don't seem to So just keep those in stats in mind. And there's one more stat I want you to keep in mind. That according to PolitiFact, 400 Americans now have more wealth than half of all Americans combined.
400.
400 people.
Yeah, that's not the top 1%.
They can fit in my backyard at a party, right? And the 400 people have more wealth than half of all Americans' wealth combined. Okay. So again, all the gains of the recovery going to the upper 1%, not the 99%, which leads me to this Chris Christie clip, okay? Now, a lot of people don't seem to remember that Chris Christie was a piece of shit way before the George Washington Bridge fiasco, right? Not to get all hipstery on you, but I was into hating Chris Christie on his first album. And now if you haven't seen Chris Christie live in a while, he still plays all the old hits. Here he is talking about income inequality, and he starts off with the bullshit defense of trickle-down economics, a straw man where everybody gets paid equal, and it just goes downhill from there. Let's play it.
I think that the problem we have is an opportunity gap, not an income equality gap. And I think that one of the big discussions and conversations over the course of the next 2 years in national politics is going to be, do you want mediocrity or do you want greatness? You want income equality? That's mediocrity. Everybody can have an equal mediocre salary. That's what we can afford. Or do you want the opportunity for greatness?
Yes, and we all know that the greatest countries in the world are the ones where you're either a millionaire or live in a one-room shack. We all know.
Right, that's it. Those are the only choices.
We all know that those are the best. And by the way, that's the beauty of America. We take the happiness from the mediocre and give it to the wealthy. That's the beauty of America, right? What do you think, Ben?
Well, I mean, first, you talk about that's the conversation that we're going to be having the next 2 years.
Yes.
Right. Do you want opportunity for excellence or do you want mediocrity?
Right.
I'm pretty sure that's not the conversation anyone's going to have, because that's not a conversation that two human beings would ever find themselves in. But like the idea of opportunity, then you want to be like, oh, great. So you would then think, let's make those schools in the shittiest parts of the country outstanding, and let's pour money into them. And let's make sure there's like 15 kids per teacher in all those places. All these things that we know work incredibly well, because that would at least give them an opportunity.
Right.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah, and well.
But he doesn't believe in it.
No.
Right, he doesn't really. Of course he believes in opportunity. That's why he's a big supporter of affirmative action.
Yeah.
Oh, apparently. No.
Right.
So that was his straw man, right? Everybody has, so his big straw man is everybody gets paid equal. No one's saying that, Chris Christie. That's not what anybody's fucking saying, that we're all going to be paid equal, right? So Chris Christie's, he's pretending that the solution is either have the government redistribute every single dollar of income so we're all paid equally, or we can all become millionaires. Which one do you want? Do you want to be a millionaire, or you want to get paid exactly like the guy who works at McDonald's? It's up to you. It's up to you. My plan, we can all be millionaires. So
that's what we can afford.
Yes. He's basically saying to the people left behind by the system, go fuck yourself, right?
That's right.
If you have barriers or impediments, you're probably just lazy, right? It's not that there was 400 years of racism institutionalized and sanctified by the government to keep you out of the middle class life. No, screw it. It's just up to you. So he keeps going. He gets worse. Now he's pretending that the economic justice, the people who are warning about the problems of inequality, that they're just big babies. Here he goes. Ready?
Greatness is going to be based upon your intellect, your hard work, your creativity. And government can play a role in helping to create that opportunity, but not in being the perpetual referee of what sounds like a fight between my 13-year-old son and my 10-year-old daughter. You did this for him, that's not fair. well, that's not fair. I want this to be fair. Like, I grew up in an America that said life isn't fair.
Yeah, and he says it like it's a virtue.
Right, yeah.
Yeah. Hey, that's why people come to America, because of its fundamental unfairness. People come and they go, I'm poor, but I know if I get to America, I will meet the kind of unfairness I've been dreaming about. And I will be placed more hurdles in front of me to overcome to get into the good life. But God damn it, that's the way America's supposed to be.
People flocked here in the late 19th century to get away from all the fairness that was going on in Europe. Yeah. Things were so fucking equitable over there.
Yes.
Jesus, enough.
Yes, yes. So again, it's bullshit. He's saying, you know, that whole thing about everybody gets paid equal, and you know, here's a guy saying that life's not fair. But people who try to make it better for them, who try to get into the good life, Chris Christie shits on, like a teacher trying to get in a union to get higher wages. Fuck you, he wags his finger in the face and says, go pound sand, we don't need you, right? This is the guy shitting on people trying to get a better life. This is the guy putting up barriers to people who went to college, who work hard, who are trying to get into the middle class. That's who Chris Christie is.
Yeah, people who are trying to get a better opportunity. I mean, he's leaving himself vulnerable to that question. What's the opportunity you want created?
So, and this whole thing about that, if you are fighting for a better wage, somehow you're a petulant little child fighting over a toy in the back. Are you kidding? Really? So everybody's supposed to just shut up, Chris Christie, when they're dealt injustice economically? Except I'm sure for you, you wouldn't shut the fuck up. I'm sure he wouldn't shut up about it.
But by the way, I don't think that's the fight his kids have regularly. I think the fight they have is who has to spend time with dad.
So, I mean, what's the deal? There were like 3 donuts here. You ate them all. I can't believe you. Oh, no, of course, Dad ate them all. That's right.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is just a big straw man argument he's making about...
a very big straw man.
A big straw. I haven't seen a straw man like this since Nick Cage in The Wicker Man. And you know what, Governor Christie? I'll tell you what. When the detractors of income inequality start saying, "Hey, you've got $1 million. I want $1 million too." When that happens, I'll listen to your ideas. Until then, however, I'm pretty sure you got nothing.